Hello, and welcome to episode number 12 of the Blue Water Running Podcast. I'm your host, Maren, and this podcast features and celebrates the accomplishments of high school and collegiate cross-country and track and field athletes from the Blue Water area of Michigan. In this episode, we will talk with our first freshman guest, Kai Fisher of Memphis High School. Kai has personal bests of 10.96 seconds in the 100, 22.91 in the 200, and 53.05 in the 400, along with high jumping 6 feet as an 8th grader. Kai won the 100 and 200 meter dashes at the Algonac Friday Night Lights Invitational on May 10th and was the Greater Thumb League East Conference champion in the 200 and 400 and runner-up in the 100 and high jump. At the Blue Water Meet of Champions, Kai took the title in the 200 meter dash in 23.5 seconds, also just narrowly missing a win in the 400, with a 53.05 to the winning 53.03 by Matthew Bacholzky of Almont. His 200 best of 22.91 at the Division III Regional at Clawson hit the automatic qualifying time, earning him a trip to the state meet. He was the only freshman to make the finals or qualify in that event. He is the first sprinter from Memphis to ever qualify for the state finals in recent history. The only other runner was Tyler Carlson in 2021, who placed 9th in the 1600 meter run. Kai is the only freshman ranked in the top 30 in Division III for the 200 meter dash. Kai's accomplishments are all the more impressive when you realize he's still just a 9th grader and Memphis High School does not even have a track. We'll catch up with Kai to discuss his goals for the state meet, what he hopes to accomplish, how he trains without lanes or starting lines, and what he hopes is next for him through the summer and as a sophomore. Welcome to the Blue Water Running Podcast, Kai.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, it is my pleasure. You're our first freshman guest, and you're probably the first guest whom I pass running on my way home from work.
Oh, yeah, I saw you.
Yeah, I waved and said, oh, I'm going to talk to him later. For those of you listening who don't know, I teach at Memphis, and Kai was in my class as I think, maybe 3rd, 4th, 5th grade I had you?
Yeah.
Right? Something like that. Yeah. All right. Well, here's our first question to kick things off, Kai. How did you first get involved in track and field, and how many years have you been participating?
I started track in 6th grade, but I started running in 3rd grade in running club. So I've just been kind of doing it for quite a while now. 4 years officially for track.
When the season began for you this spring, what were the goals that you had set for yourself or were kind of thinking about wanting to accomplish? And now that we're at the end of the season, maybe you have accomplished some of those things. So tell us what you had set for goals for you for 2024.
Yeah, my goals at the beginning of the season were to qualify for states and something because I'd missed it by 1 place in cross country. But I also wanted to PR in the 200 and high jump. I also wanted to be competitive in the 100 and 400 since it's my first year ever doing the 100 and I haven't done the 400 since 6th grade. So,
well, you mentioned cross country. What are you looking forward to for the fall for cross country season and or next year as a track runner your sophomore year?
Cross country, I just want to go to states. That would be kind of cool. And I'm really looking forward to progressing throughout the season. I ended last season at 18:08, and I hope to get sub 18, like 17:30-ish, something like that, in the 5K. And for track season, I want to try and qualify for at least 3 out of 4 of my events, which would be 100, 200, 400, and high jump.
Well, speaking of your 100, 200, 400 high jump, those are your normal meet events. Do you have a favorite out of those or one that you would consider your best or focus event if you had to pick?
The 200 is by far my favorite. I didn't even mean to do it at first. I was putting it on accident last year, and I just kind of liked it since, a lot.
That is the event you qualified for in the Division III state finals as well. So
Yeah.
it appears that it has worked out for you.
Yeah, it's been going pretty good.
Yeah. Well, is there a track event or a field event that you haven't done before that you would like to try?
Pole vault. I know you've heard this one a lot though.
I'm not opposed to hearing it again.
Yeah.
So why would you like to try it?
It just looks like a lot of fun.
Looking back at your middle school career, because you are a ninth grader, so you don't have a ton of high school racing experience yet, but you ran the 1600 quite a bit and you also long jumped. So are you looking to try distance events again in high school or maybe go back to long jumping? Is that something
If
that you might consider?
if I was to switch it up again, I'd probably the furthest I would go would most likely be the 800, and I don't think I'm going to do long jump again. Long jump hurt my hip last year, so yeah.
So you're going to stay away from that one.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, you've been pretty fast since middle school. You won conference titles as a freshman this year, and
Hmm.
then you have become the second person in recent history. So when I say recent history, as long as I've been teaching at Memphis, and that's 23 years now,
Yeah.
um, to qualify for the state meet. The last
Hmm.
person was Tyler Carlson, and he ran the
Yeah.
2 mile or the mile. I can't remember which, but what do you think are the most important elements for you that have helped you be successful and get to that point?
Obviously, I wouldn't have gotten as far as I have without God, and I think just being disciplined and focusing on all the small things that people normally neglect has helped me quite a bit as well.
What would you consider a small thing that people tend to neglect?
Like running form, like that's super important because if you're doing it wrong, you're not going to produce as much power. Like since last year, my main focus has been my start and my form, and that's helped me quite a bit.
Yeah, it appears to be paying off. So
Hmm.
that's a good piece of advice. Um, Now, here's the big thing about Memphis High School that is different from any other podcast guest we've had from any other location. And that
Hmm.
is a lot of people listening don't realize this. Memphis High School doesn't have a track.
No.
So, talk to us because you are the first guest to have this situation. Talk to us about how you train for your running and field events when you don't have lanes, you don't have exchange zones,
Hmm.
we don't have field event pits and things like that to practice in. So, how do you prepare when you kind of have that disadvantage?
It's kind of weird. We practice in the student parking lot for the most part, but distance we typically send them off so they can get their mileage in, and occasionally they'll do the sprint workout with us. And for like relays, we just really work on the handoffs. But for the field events, that's where it gets a little weird because we kind of have a long jump pit. It's like a cement path that leads into this obviously the sand pit. That's a little weird. It's also like cement, so obviously it's hard on your body.
Do you guys have mats that you're I'm assuming you must have, right?
No.
Oh, you don't.
So yeah, it's kind of
Oh,
weird.
okay. Because you have been high jumping, and Tim Short as well has been doing very well.
Hmm.
I think what's his PR? 5'10",
5'8",
five eight.
if I
Okay.
remember right.
Okay. So how are you guys practicing high jump without mats? That's really
We
tricky.
Yeah, we have high jump mats.
Oh, you have mats. Okay.
Yeah, we have like the pole too. So
Oh,
it's
gotcha.
it's kind of weird because we practice in the gym or the lunchroom. So grip's not going to be the same as it would be on a track. That hinders it quite a bit
Okay.
because while practicing, my approach would be really good, but at meets it would be a little off.
Yeah,
That's why I wasn't jumping so high this season.
I was going to say it's probably hard to count your steps and get a feel for the track surface is a lot different than a gym or like a cafeteria floor surface. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So you have a bar and you have mats, but no
Hmm.
official outdoor high jump facility. So,
No.
Well, I'll throw my teacher spiel in here. Memphis Schools has a no tax rate increase bond proposal out to the community. And something in that proposal, along with a lot of maintenance and facility upgrade items, which are also needed, is the installation of a track and field facility, which would be the first for our district.
Hmm.
So, what do you think is the most exciting factor about that possibility for you and your teammates?
Honestly, I am just super excited that we would have a track just and have other resources that would help our team out quite a bit. And it's like so awesome that the school board is proposing something like that.
Yeah, that's very exciting from a track fan point of view. To be able to
Yeah.
come and watch a home meet would be really fun for residents and citizens and parents as well. So, well, Kai, what are your hobbies and interests outside of track? What do you like to do in your spare time when you're not at school or you're not participating in sports?
Um, I don't have when I have too much spare time on me because of all the stuff that I do. Like I'm involved with band and track, obviously, cross country. I'm also like pretty involved with my church. So when I do have spare time, I like to hang out with my family and friends, maybe play video games, and I listen to a lot of music.
I'll put you on the spot. Can you name a favorite artist by chance?
You've probably never heard of this guy, but DC the Don, he's a rapper that I like quite a bit.
I have not, but now I'm curious, so I might have to go look him up.
Maybe.
Well, what are your favorite collegiate or professional athletes that you might want to share with us?
My favorite athletes, Arian Knighton, Christian Coleman, Noah Lyles, Fred Curley, Grant Holloway. There's a whole bunch.
Most of them are sprinters, yes.
Yeah.
Hmm. Uh, are you excited about the upcoming Olympics and the trials
Ab-
in the United States?
I'm super excited to watch those.
Yeah, I want to go and watch someday, so that's on my bucket list. But
Hmm.
um, I plant myself in front of the TV pretty much for a
Yeah.
couple of weeks when that happens. So the one time a year I do, or 4 years, I should say.
Yeah, I watch a lot of the meets.
Well, the nice
Like I
thing
watch a
now
lot of
is,
Diamond League stuff.
yeah, I was going to say now you can catch that more. It wasn't really
Hmm.
televised until recently, although they could do a much better job, I feel, of
They definitely could.
yeah, making that more of a primetime event. But as a
Hmm.
Memphis athlete, um, you guys are D3. You're
Yeah.
surrounded by a lot of D2 schools, and then you have to travel pretty far to compete up into the thumb.
Yeah.
So, what do you find is the biggest advantage or disadvantage based on the size of your school compared to ones that surround you in neighboring districts?
You get to know everybody a lot better, I feel like. It's more like a family, kind of, because everybody's so close. You don't not know anybody, really, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah. Um, what is your favorite meet that you like to go compete at? Do you have one? It can be cross country or track, whichever you prefer.
My favorite meet was definitely regionals this year. Like, the atmosphere was like, it was just so tense and competitive. I just loved it so much.
And you made it to
So
states.
many, yeah. It was like way faster than what I'm used to, and it was just an experience, the whole
It-
thing.
yeah, and it pushed you a little bit beyond what you're
Yeah.
used to doing, and that got you your PR. Was that the first time you
Hmm.
dipped below 23 for the
Yeah.
200? Yeah, no, that's kind of the magic of regionals. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I'm
well,
excited to see what happens at states.
yeah, I won't be at the D3 state meet. I'll be at D2 watching my daughter run, but
Hmm.
I try to keep up. So hopefully I'll be able to see how you do. And I wish you the best.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that this is just the beginning of a great career.
Hopefully.
Well, one last question, Kai, to wrap up our conversation. If
Hmm.
you could go for a run anywhere in the world, where would it be and who would it be with?
Definitely would be Hayward Field with my team.
We had that one last week. So you're
Really?
actually, I think you're the third person that said that they would love to run there. I agree. Great choice. Um, do you have a favorite workout that you would do on that track, perhaps? Is there something you really like to run?
I got to make it like really memorable. So I got to do 400 repeats.
Oh, that would be memorable. I don't know for
Yeah,
good reasons or for bad, but yeah, that would
a
be
little bit of both.
a workout for the ages for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk with me, Kai, and I wish you the best this season for the state meet and next year as well.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Until next time, I'll leave you with this quote by Noah Lyles, the 2020 Tokyo Olympic 200-meter bronze medalist and a 6-time world champion, winning the 100, 200, and 4x100-meter relay events at the 2023 World Championships, becoming the first man since Usain Bolt in 2015 to complete the sprint triple at a World Championships. I don't run for other people. I run for myself. As long as I enjoy it and I feel that I can be the best at something, I'm going to try my hardest. I don't believe in doing something halfway. If I want to get into something, I want to do all the research, do as much as I can with what I think I can do, keep going, and let myself figure out my own limit and not hearing what someone else thinks it is. Once again, thank you so much for tuning into today's Blue Water Running Podcast. I can't wait to feature more cross-country and track and field athletes from the Blue Water area, so stay tuned because it just might be you. If you enjoyed today's podcast, please share, subscribe, and leave a review. You can find the Blue Water Running Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and other major media players. You can also ask Alexa to play the Blue Water Running Podcast. If you have an idea for a great topic or guest you'd like to hear about, feel free to contact me through the website links or show notes. You can follow Blue Water Running on Instagram, X, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube. You can also find me in athlete reports and articles at www.bluewaterrunning.org.